Trying to make everyone happy sounds noble, but it comes with a hidden price. The more you bend, accommodate, and adjust to meet others' expectations, the more you risk losing yourself. Pleasing everyone may bring temporary approval, but in reality, it drains your energy, clouds your priorities, and silently erodes your confidence. In this video, we'll explore the psychological and emotional costs of people-pleasing, why it keeps you stuck, and how to reclaim your life without feeling selfish. Constantly trying to satisfy everyone takes a huge toll on your energy. You give attention, time, and emotional effort to others while neglecting your own needs. Over time, this imbalance creates fatigue, stress, and frustration. People-pleasers often find themselves exhausted, yet feel guilty for stepping back. The irony is that the more you try to serve others, the less energy you have to serve yourself, and eventually, your capacity to genuinely help others diminishes too. At the heart of people-pleasing lies a deep fear of rejection. Saying no or setting boundaries can feel risky because it might upset someone, jeopardize approval, or even lead to conflict. This fear often keeps you trapped in a cycle of compliance, making choices based on what others might think instead of what's best for you. Ironically, the attempt to avoid rejection can actually erode your self-respect and even invite resentment from those you're trying to please. When you constantly prioritize others' desires over your own, you start suppressing your true self. Decisions, opinions, and even your personality may shift to fit expectations. Over time, you may struggle to recognize your own wants, dreams, and values. People-pleasing creates a fragile identity built on approval, not authenticity. You may feel appreciated externally, but disconnected internally, as if the person everyone likes is not truly you. Without clear boundaries, relationships can become unbalanced. People may come to expect your constant availability, help, or agreement. Over time, this can create frustration and passive resentment on both sides. Boundaries are not about being rude, they're about protecting your time, energy, and emotional health. Establishing them allows you to engage meaningfully without being consumed by others' demands. People-pleasing is linked to anxiety, stress, and even depression. Constantly worrying about what others think, overanalyzing interactions, and trying to anticipate needs creates chronic mental strain. You may experience self-doubt, perfectionism, and fear of judgment. The emotional cost isn't always obvious, but over years, it can significantly impact your well-being and sense of fulfillment. It feels good to be liked in the moment, but the long-term consequences are often regret. Sacrificing your own goals, desires, or time for others may leave you wondering what you could have achieved if you had been true to yourself. Pleasing everyone is a temporary high, but authenticity and integrity provide lasting satisfaction. The question becomes, are you living your life for approval or for purpose? When your choices are driven by others' expectations, decision-making becomes compromised. You may delay action, second-guess yourself, or choose paths that don't align with your values. This indecision can create frustration, stagnation, and missed opportunities. People-pleasing subtly erodes confidence, making it harder to trust your own judgment and intuition. Even with the best intentions, constantly putting others first can breed resentment toward them, toward situations, and ultimately towards yourself. You may feel taken for granted, underappreciated, or even exploited. Resentment often festers quietly, creating tension in relationships and sometimes causing abrupt emotional reactions that surprise both you and others. No matter how much you try, you cannot please everyone. People have different values, expectations, and perspectives. The idea that universal approval is achievable is a myth that traps people-pleasers in endless effort with diminishing returns. Accepting that you will disappoint some people, and that's okay, is a critical step towards freedom and self-respect. It's important to distinguish between kindness and people-pleasing. Kindness is deliberate, generous, and rooted in authenticity. People-pleasing, on the other hand, is motivated by fear, obligation, or the need for approval. True kindness thrives with boundaries and self-respect, whereas people-pleasing collapses under pressure and creates emotional debt. Constantly focusing on others' expectations limits personal growth. Time, energy, and attention that could be invested in learning, pursuing goals, or developing skills are instead spent on compliance. Over time, this prevents you from realizing your potential, achieving personal milestones, or living a life aligned with your values. Growth requires focus, courage, and sometimes saying no to external demands. People-pleasing often attracts unbalanced relationships where you give more than you receive. While these relationships may provide temporary approval, they drain your energy and self-esteem. In contrast, authentic relationships, where boundaries are respected, communication is honest, and mutual support exists, nourish both parties. Learning to differentiate between the two is essential for emotional health and long-term happiness. Saying no or prioritizing your needs is not selfish. It's an act of self-respect. When you honor your boundaries, values, and goals, you regain control over your life. Self-respect creates clarity and confidence, allowing you to engage with others from a place of authenticity rather than obligation. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to act with integrity while still maintaining positive relationships. Learning to say no strategically is transformative. It allows you to conserve energy, focus on priorities, and cultivate meaningful engagement rather than spreading yourself thin. A carefully chosen no can enhance relationships by fostering mutual respect and preventing burnout. Over time, people respect those who honor their own boundaries as much as they honor others. The ultimate cost of people-pleasing is a life misaligned with your values. Every compromise made for the sake of approval chips away at your vision and purpose. By understanding these hidden costs, setting boundaries, and choosing actions aligned with your true self, you can live intentionally. A life lived on your terms, grounded in authenticity, brings fulfillment that no amount of approval can ever replace. People-pleasing doesn't just affect personal life, it silently sabotages your career and long-term goals. Constantly prioritizing others' expectations can make you take on tasks that aren't aligned with your strengths or aspirations. You may accept extra work, compromise on ideas, or avoid speaking up in meetings just to avoid conflict. Over time, this diminishes your professional growth, reduces your visibility, and prevents you from achieving the success you're capable of. Learning to focus on your priorities and voice your ideas strategically can create momentum in your career while maintaining respectful relationships. The antidote to people-pleasing lies in cultivating internal validation. When you learn to approve of yourself, your choices, and your values, external approval loses its grip. Daily practices like self-reflection, journaling, and acknowledging small wins strengthen your sense of self-worth. Surrounding yourself with supportive relationships that respect your boundaries reinforces this mindset. The more you rely on internal validation, the freer you become to engage authentically, act with confidence, and pursue meaningful goals without the constant need for approval. Trying to please everyone is a trap disguised as kindness. It drains your energy, clouds your decisions, and slowly erodes your sense of self. Freedom comes from awareness, boundaries, and prioritizing your own values while engaging authentically with others. By learning to balance generosity with self-respect, you can maintain meaningful relationships without losing yourself in the process.